All right, friends, as glad fortune would have it, over the course of the next 3 features, we are going to be generating a mask. We'll mask this woman and her crazy hair away from the background. This image comes to us from photographer Stas Parov of imagevendorfotolia.com, and it presents us with an interesting challenge. Not only do we have all this hair all over the place, that's actually the least of our concerns as it turns out, but we also have very low color information. So we've got a lot of flesh tones here inside of her arms, her chest, and her face. And then we have copious low saturation blues in the background, in the hair, and in the dress, which makes for a challenging masking scenario. So we're going to bring out the big guns, and the biggest gun of them all is feature number 33, the calculations command, one of the most daunting and powerful functions inside of Photoshop. And what it allows you to do is merge 2 channels inside of an image to create a new alpha channel that will serve as the basis for a mask. So let's go ahead and take a look at the channels inside of this RGB image. I'm looking at the channels palette. I'm going to switch over to the red channel. You can see that she's very bright, her hair is dark, and the background is relatively dark as well. If we switch to the green channel, her skin tones darken up just a little bit, the background starts to lighten up, and then if we switch to the blue channel, she gets just slightly darker because she's so very, very brightly lit, and then her background is the brightest of them all, and so is the hair, incidentally. So we have the most contrast between the blue and the red channels where this image is concerned, which is not surprising because we have flesh tones, which live largely inside the red channel, and then we have a blue background, which of course is going to live mostly inside that blue channel. And so we're going to merge those 2 channels together, red and blue, to create our new alpha channel. So I'll switch to the RGB image, I'll go up to the image menu, and I'll choose the calculations command in order to bring up the calculations dialog box. Now you start off with a couple of source channels, source number 1 and source number 2. These are going to be the 2 channels you merge together. And here's your blend mode. That's how you specify how the channels blend together, and an opacity value as well. Now 9 times out of 10, you're going to leave that opacity value set to 100%. And that's what we're going to do in this case as well. Think of the source 1 channel as being set on top of the source 2 channel. So the source 2 channel is ultimately your base layer, if you want to think of it that way. And then you have source 1 on top of it. And we want red on top of blue in our case. So I'm going to stick with the red channel for source 1 right here. We don't have to worry about the layer because this is a flat image and I only have 1 file open, so we don't have to worry about that either. We're just worried about the channel option. I'm going to go ahead and set channel number 2 to blue. And right now, we're not getting much of a good mix. What we want to see, by the way, is white hair against a black background. That's what we're going for in this case. So what we need is we need a big, huge, high degree of contrast between the red and the blue channels. And in order to achieve that, I'm going to go ahead and invert the blue channel so that we're comparing 2 very different images. So if I were to set this mode right here to normal, this is what the red channel looks like because it's on top. And then if I were to reduce the opacity value to 0%, this is what the inverted blue channel looks like because it's on bottom. Just so you have a sense of the degree of contrast that we're working with here. All right, I'm going to set that opacity value to 100%. Now, there's a lot of blend modes that you can choose from. The blend mode is ultimately going to decide the fate of this mask right up front here. So you want to choose it wisely. Now, you can play with every single one of these blend modes if you want to, just to get a sense of how they work. But the ones that are most likely to afford you the best results are these 2 guys right down there, add and subtract. And what I recommend you do is you go ahead and start with the add function and see what result it delivers. Now, in our case, it's making the image far too bright, as you can see here. Now, I can offset that and darken up those colors by reducing this offset value. So let's say I take that value down to negative 100 luminance levels, incidentally. So we're subtracting 100 luminance levels from every single pixel inside of this image, and we end up getting this effect here, which is not going to do us any good. Notice we have these sort of light gray hairs against a slightly darker background, but really we just have dark edges. This is not going to provide the effect we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and take that offset value back to 0, and I'm going to switch from add to subtract and see what we get that way. And this is a much better effect, as you can see. Now, in our case, it really is doing everything we need it to do where the hair is concerned. Now, where the arms are concerned, it's not working out very well at all, but it is the best result we're going to achieve inside of this image. So I'm sticking with the subtract mode. If I wanted to darken up the colors, I could go ahead and reduce this offset value to something like negative 30. I don't want to do that, though, because I'm losing the bright values inside of the hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that offset value set to 0. Then I'll go ahead and click OK. Now notice the result by default is going to appear in a new channel. So I'll click OK, and we have a new alpha channel down here at the bottom of the channels palette. I recommend you go ahead and rename this channel something like mask, and then press the enter key, and you now have a base mask for your future modifications, and we are going to be applying those future modifications using the next two features, features number 32 and 31. Don't want to blow it for you, don't want to tell you what they are, so just stay tuned. But in the meantime, you have witnessed one of the most powerful masking commands in all of Photoshop, calculations.